So, we implement various strategies to help break out of certain patterns in finance. Can you tell us a little bit about the framework or the strategies that you implement in your practice?
Absolutely. First, I'll just say that every therapist comes from a different theoretical orientations. Different therapists will use different approaches and usually some kind of integration of multiple approaches. And what you might find, especially with changing beliefs and behaviors, one that might come up is cognitive behavioral therapy, as well as solution focused therapy. The psychodynamic therapy is more looking at our inner dynamics from starting from childhood that shape who we are. And then there's also dialectical behavior therapy. I list a lot of these because I think all of them have different tools to address these ways, patterns, and habits and dynamics that we have from our childhood. When it comes to how to have some of these conversations and dialogues about money in my office with either individuals or couples, the most important first step is to create safety. An environment where one can be vulnerable, an environment where talking about deep-seated emotional issues or trauma, you can't do that in an environment where you don't feel safe. You want to be able to be curious, non-judgmental, and not only does the therapist need to hold that stance, but the partner, if it's couples therapy. Also, I do family therapy where everyone in the room needs to be able to hold that space and just acknowledging that it's uncomfortable for everybody. This is part of any kind of therapeutic space, but I just want to emphasize no one's going to be asked to talk about deep money issues without already feeling safe first. And that's where it comes to regulating the nervous system, that even in my sessions, sometimes I'll have everyone stop, take some deep breaths, and do some different somatic steps or physiological regulating practices to get into that calm state where really productive conversations can be had. Next, I would ask individuals to share their stories, to really dig into what their beliefs are around money, where they came from, what it was like in their family, different events that happened around money. There's actually a few different strategies that are used. The money genogram is actually where you chart out a family genogram with grandparents and parents and children, and you map out where every individual is in that family tree, but then how they each operated around money and how it trickled down. It's really powerful to do with clients. Another one is a money egg, where you actually break a piece of paper into an egg shape on the paper and you just write different events that occurred in your life, and you create like a patchwork quilt on the egg of different types of experiences that shaped your money beliefs. Finally, you might do a money timeline where you line up all the events in your life that kind of affected your way of feeling about money, your relationship with money, because each of these strategies just really illuminates what's under the surface in terms of why you feel the way you do about money. And unless you do these kinds of exercise, sometimes we just gloss over it, but we're still going to do the same behaviors without really getting some understanding. So you share your money story, you look deep into your history, you come up with what your feelings are about money, and through all of this, you have a good understanding of yourself.